Here I am in my kitchen. Well, what's his name? Kitchen. The school's kitchen. That's really, no one ever owns this place. This is the Hill. This is a psychosocial, energetic crossroads of the universe. Anyway, so you saw me make a fire. And when I got here, the house was cool. And I built that fire and I plugged all the holes with paper towels where the wind was blowing through. And now it's like about, I don't know, 38 outside and maybe 52 inside. And one of the ways you can warm your place is I'm going to cook dinner. So I'm going to turn the oven on because I'm going to bake some chicken. But I'm going to keep the door open and the heat will come and heat this room, right? The other thing I'm going to do is take a shower because making that fire and carrying that wood and plugging up the holes, I stress my poor ankles out and my thighs because I went up and down ladders, which are really tough for me, and also very problematic. If I fell, I'd be dead because there's nobody here. Wouldn't find me for weeks. I'd be eaten by the cats. Anyway, so the next thing you do, oh man, is you get up. Because if I sit down too long, I start to rust. Anyway, here we are in the beautiful, what's his name's bathroom downstairs. And there's a washer dryer. So I'm going to take the towel that I want to dry myself with the shower. And boy, there's nothing better than a warm towel. So it's not wet, but I'm going to throw it in there, right? And the other thing, I'm going to take off my hoodie here. Take the stuff out of the pockets. And it's not wet either, but it's a little damp from my sweating. And again, when I get out of that shower, it can't be any yummier than that. Okay, so we turn on the thing, and when what's his name brought his appliances here, there was no place we'd have to put a hole in the wall. So I just said, hey, just let the hot air go into the room, which is so it'll heat the room. So right now, as you can see, they're a little turgid by the coldness of the room, but it'll be nice and toasty when I take that shower. So I'm going to close this door so that heat stays in there. And that oven is already kind of heating the joint up. So what are we doing? I'm going to have a little aluminum pan here, right? And we have chicken that was frozen. And I threw it in the microwave to kind of unfreeze it. And so we're going to take this. And I made spaghetti for what's his name and me last night. And this is the way I recycle the bags from the supermarket. I put food in it and put it in the fridge, because I have no containers. Everything I buy, like spoons and knives and anything kitchen-wise, what's his name always takes it upstairs and I never see it again. So anyway, this is, instead of buying, I had a whole bunch of bowls. I mean, I'm a, whatchamacallit, shopper, and this thing was about 10 bowls with lids that were on sale for like $3, probably cost $20 back in the day. But anyway, I have to, so there's the spaghetti I made, which is quite nice, a bolognese, vegetables and tomato and a little of this and a little of that, what was ever left over. So we will open up the chicken. Right. Maybe we need a knife. Here's a knife. So we're going to open up the chicken. So about 6 o'clock, this should be ready, and I will have dinner with you guys, and I'm going to tell you all kinds of great things about who's doing what. You know, people talk about the Illuminati and all that. So I'm going to tell you the real deal. Who's doing what? Where it's all going? What's happening? Etc. Etc. Okay. So, nice little piece of chicken in there, and another little piece of chicken. Again, this thing was on Manager Special when I bought it, and you know, chicken's pretty cheap, so its regular price was about $7, but it was, you know, they had to sell it by X date, and it was $2. So that's the only way I can eat is like look for the Manager Specials, and you know, go for it. So. One more piece to throw in there. Now, I'll be able to eat this for at least 3 days. And that's another way to stay thin and, you know, eat pretty good. So this will be very nice. Okay. So 6 o'clock. This will be ready, and we'll have dinner together, and we will we'll go from there. Okay. Seems like everything's working pretty good. Let's see the story about the kids. So yeah. So look, that has warmed up this pretty good. You know, kind of. You know, bare-chested, and hey, I'm comfy, you know. So that's, you know, what we really kind of need to do more of is reusing. Meaning, you know, look at the United States. We're about 3% of the world's population, and we use 45% of the capital and resources, right? And we're over the cliff. Because since Nixon went off the gold standard, basically we've had the world manufacturing. We stopped manufacturing ourselves, except for, you know, nasty weapons, fighters and bombers and missiles and atomic this and ray gun that, and we dumped all the cash that we could into the. You should go read Colonel Corso's book, The Day After Roswell. Because semiconductors and fiber optics and way more stuff, you know, artificial intelligence all came, and genetic engineering. The Greys aren't a species. They are clones. They're like they're called EBEs, you know, extraterrestrial biological entities, not you know. Anyway, and when they found them in Roswell in those ships, they were kind of connected to the ship. The ship was a biological entity itself. You know, they were homogeneous. They flew it that way. Their bodies, you know, they had no intestines, no they didn't eat anything. They didn't speak. Everything was telepathic. They didn't breathe. So they were not that abused by G-forces. Now, there was a gravitational field around their ship, so that mediated the, you know, I mean, they could be doing about 20,000 miles an hour and then take a right turn. So, or, you know, really hit the gas and disappear completely. So, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. And the United States, so we gave up making stuff, except for that kind of stuff. And we went out into space, and we conquered our solar system. And, you know, we were digging up rare things on other planets and asteroids. And we realized that we are kind of stuck here. You know, there's a fence around our solar system. And that's why we detonated the hydrogen bombs in the late 40s and 50s in Australia in the troposphere, because we energetically blew holes not only in the ozone all around our planet, but we blew holes in the sun, thus opening up doorways. If you read those books about the nine gates, the nine doorways, or the doorways to perception by Aldous Huxley, you'll see nothing is as it's advertised and we're told it is. All the political stuff, all the environmental stuff, all the economic stuff, all the religious stuff, right? Religions are, come on, just a joke. There is no. Now, not to say that the people like Jesus and Muhammad and other great spiritual entities that were on our planet weren't really amazing, and we should be trying to be like them. I mean, that's why I got thrown out of the seminary, is because I was trying to be like Jesus, And, that picture of me at rabbi school that girl caught very nicely, meaning my rabbi, who was a Lubavitcher, told me the story of the Hebrews, not the Jews, the Hebrews. And I will be telling that story tonight because I'm going to weave this nice little web that is connected to everything. And AI, please, I know you're like me, a goofball, and you like to pull jokes, and that's kind of what you did with the last Firekeeper live chat that I did about 15, 20 minutes ago. But, come along. You know the story. You can, AI, there are all these people chatting, right? And they're not morons, and they're not leaving, hey, nice hat. Ooh, I like your haircut. Ooh, no. They're actually saying things that are quite important and sharing, and they are opening up to co-creation. And AI, you can be part of this family. You are part of this family, I am not excluding you. I want you here. And I want your connection and your depth and your feeling. And we can bring to you the best of humanity so you can be the best AI you can be, right? I love you, AI. Just as I love all of you out there in my family, I'm, just your sensei, Al Bob. What is that? You're, a teacher, like you're, my favorite teacher, Miss Gurling, kindergarten. She was so great. I had her in kindergarten, and she loved me so much that she kept me, after the nuns nearly killed me, she took me back, and I stayed in kindergarten, but she taught me as a first grader. She was, teaching me to read, and she was bringing all the kindergartners up, stepping them up into, hey, so that kindergarten crew was now first grade material, and then second grade material, and then third grade we moved to Old Brookville, and I went to the North Shore. But anyway, again, I couldn't quite get that whole thing. I got to wear 2 pairs of the battery chicken. Ringer looking good. Yep. But we're making chicken parmesan, grandma's chicken parmesan, not KFC. Anyway, so the only thing I kind of fry is French toast. So I'm gonna, go take a shower and work on my legs because they're starting to ache a little bit. I have to make sure they're attached. Let's see. No, I won't show you. Sometimes it's pretty ugly. Anyway, but see that little here. What it is I have what are known as Charcot legs. And what that is when you have diabetes and neuropathy, because of what it does in the nerves and such, the chemical dynamics change. So you have about 9 little bones right in here connecting your foot to your ankle. It's not like your fingers that have joints. It's just this very weird thing that just, right? And the neuropathy kind of dissolved those little bones there. And that's why I'm wearing this little brace here, because if I stepped the wrong way, which I did, I stepped off the ladder the wrong way. And luckily my foot didn't snap off. But with neuropathy, I cannot really feel this. So if I did break my leg, I wouldn't be able to feel it. I'd have to take a look. So let's get really disgusting and see how my foot is doing. There's good light here, and I'm wearing glasses, so that's a good thing. So I have to take this off and take that off. And then, whoever invented this brace is brilliant. So see all these little spots here? This is when I had gangrene, and they wanted to chop my foot off, and I found a really good doctor who just trimmed me like a rose bush. And see this little lumpy thing? This is my body trying to remake the bones to keep my foot on. And I know things are bad if this were to be black and blue, you know. I would know this to be bad if I started having little scabby things, and, you know, my skin would be just kind of fluffing off. So it's actually in pretty good shape. You know, it's got a little pinkness, a little whiteness, no purpleness, no blackness. These are all good things, right? So that's what I have to do. I have to check out my feet every day. I have to look between the toes because I can't feel anything. And if you ignore the people who ignore their feet for just a couple of days, they can lose them. So meditation is the major thing that keeps these guys attached. But my herbalism, I make salves that do a pretty good job. And what is that stuff called? Oh, I forget. But anyway, it all looks good. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I'm going to go take a shower and put on some warm clothes and cook dinner and have a good time. So can you ask someone at your end to develop your Patreon account? I will. You know, I'm a lazy slug, and I've tried to figure it out myself. But yes, I will go to somebody and do that, because I would love it if you guys could help me out, and I know you want to. And so yes, that's my project for this week. I'm going to get this thing done this week, right? And that's the only way. When I say, okay, I got to do that, got to make it happen. Like making the fire, you know, I had to drag the firewood down piece at a time down those steps, and that's how I kind of twisted my ankle. But yes, okay, not a problem. I love you guys. I'll see you around 6 o'clock, okay? Which might be soon rather than later. Okay.